Hello, everyone. I'm AT Storm Track meteorologist Austin Haskins. It was a very humid afternoon and evening across western Wisconsin, and it was warm yesterday, too. Again, highs were in the mid to upper 80s for many locations. We had lower 80s to the north and east. We got to 88 in Eau Claire. Red Wing even managing 90 degrees yesterday. Now, as I mentioned, it was a very humid afternoon as those dew points got up into the low 70s. Didn't start off that way, though. Most of the area, especially the eastern half of the area yesterday morning, had dew points in the 50s to around 60. But as you can see, that number peaked at about 73 in Eau Claire for the dew point at 10 and 11 p.m. Now, officially, our highest heat index yesterday was 93 degrees at 4 p.m. We had an air temperature of 87. Now, we are actually going to be seeing those heat index values even higher than that today, and that has prompted a heat advisory to be issued for most of the region. We'll talk about that, along with thunderstorm chances today and also tonight, even lingering into part of the morning on Thursday. But it will be staying warm and steamy after today, though the peak of the heat is going to be today. Big picture shows a warm front coming through the area this morning, which has fueled some showers and storms to track through most of the southern half of the area. Not expecting severe weather with this, but some heavy rainfall and frequent lightning may accompany the stronger parts of the storms. We do have more showers and storms out to the west, and this cold front out to our west will be responsible for storms later this afternoon and especially into this evening. We have a heat advisory in place for, as I mentioned, most of western Wisconsin. Temperatures expected to get into the mid 80s to low 90s, dew points in the mid, possibly even upper 70s, which is going to push the heat index up to about 100 to 105 degrees. Now, those up to the north, Polk, Barron, Rusk, and Taylor counties, just because you're not in the heat advisory does not mean you are excluded from the heat and the high dew points today. There, temperatures may stay a little bit closer to the mid 80s, but still have those high dew points that will still push the heat index into the mid to upper 90s. And in fact, the heat risk outlook from NOAA has us in the moderate to major impacts categories you can see here. So that means that this is going to be hazardous to everybody that doesn't have air conditioning or takes the proper precautions, such as staying hydrated, wearing lightweight, loose-fitting clothing, and things like that. And again, this is driven mostly by the dew points being in the mid to possibly upper 70s, not so much the heat with temperatures only in the upper 80s and low 90s for many locations. So again, please be careful if you're going to be outdoors today, especially for those that do have to work outdoors. And of course, too, watch out for those shower and storm chances we'll have as well. And as I mentioned, the heat index today could peak as high as about 105, maybe up to 107 or so if we see temperatures warm enough, or if the dew points get higher enough, especially in areas that see some rain and storms this morning. It'll just add more moisture to the air, increasing those dew points. Now, tomorrow, we will see it improve quite a bit as temperatures will be a little bit lower, and so will the dew points. But by the afternoon, we still could have that heat index in the mid to upper 80s. So still going to be a little bit cautious tomorrow, but certainly we want to be careful for today and into early this evening. Now, future track, and we're looking at the ACRRR model here, actually doing a pretty good job showing those showers and storms going through this morning. That should exit the area by about 10, 11 a.m. or so. But then we should see a little bit of clearing, a break from the rain, and that's could allow the atmosphere to kind of recharge itself a little bit. We could have more storms developing out to our west as early as that noon to 1 o'clock time frame and push to the east. Now, we're expecting even another round of storms after that as we get into the evening. Here's 7:30, and you can see a line of storms from near Medford to Durand pushing to the east and southeast. Now, the trend with this is two things. One, it will start to weaken a little bit as it gets closer and especially south and east of the Chippewa River. But could this be possibly the strongest round of storms that we see with this? And that's certainly a possibility. But if we have strong to severe storms earlier in the afternoon, that could limit a little bit of the energy needed for the evening round of storms. But certainly we have to be weather aware this afternoon into this evening. We'll talk more about the severe weather outlook here in a second. Then into tomorrow, just a couple of isolated showers and storms, mainly early in the day. And then we'll see a little bit of sunshine in the afternoon, though maybe a pop-up shower or two can't be ruled out in the afternoon. So we have a level 2 out of 5 risk for severe weather in place for all of western Wisconsin. They did push this a little bit further southeast of the outlooks from yesterday. The outlooks yesterday had added up to about Black River Falls and Northwest for that level 2 risk. But now all of Jackson and Trempealeau County is included in that. This will update as we go throughout the day. Whether or not they increase or decrease the risk will remain to be seen. And of course, how the storms evolved this morning and if any activity develops in the afternoon, that could, increase or decrease the threat. Certainly something we'll be watching closely. Tornado threat is on the low to very low side of things. They actually did bump this up a little bit in their latest outlook. The hail threat is still on the very low side of things. In fact, it looks like this just updated here just after 7 a.m. You can see maybe some marginally severe hail and also the damaging wind threat. I think is actually going to be kind of the higher threat with this. Could see some gusts up to 75 miles per hour. So kind of a wider look at it across the area. Again, we are in that medium category for the damaging wind threat. The tornado risk is kind of in a central localized area. This area in brown, that's a 5% chance. Now, you might not think that that's a high threat, but tornadoes are small and kind of encompasses a small portion of the area. So this is within 25 miles of any given point. So there's actually a little bit of a heightened area from about Eau Claire to River Falls up to about Minot, Drummond, over to Ironwood, Michigan, and then over towards Rhinelanders. So really north of 94 and 29. And then, of course, the hail threat is pretty low at best. You can see from about Rice Lake to Osceola Northwest. I think a lot of that will probably be with any storms that develop early in the afternoon. Now, in addition to all of that, heavy rainfall is going to accompany any storms that do track through. And where we see multiple waves of storms, some locations could end up with 1, 2, maybe even 3 inches of rain, if not even more potentially. So we're going to have to watch out for some areas of ponding on the roadways and maybe even some areas of flash flooding as well. So there's just a lot to unpack with the forecast today. So please be sure to be cautious with the heat, but also remain weather aware for any strong to severe storms that could develop this afternoon and evening, and have multiple ways to get alerts should watches and warnings be issued.